Welcome back to Winging It Buffalo Style. As we chug along towards the Buffalo Public School Board election, we are continuing to wing it with the candidates as we get to know each and every member who is asking for your vote this year. Right now, we're joined by one of the challengers in this race, Samuel Davis. You have a very interesting story. You have background both in the law and in public schooling. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm 40 years old. I'm a former special education teacher, as well as I also taught, I substitute taught here in Buffalo at Seneca Vocational. I've been in criminal defense practice for since 2006. I'm of counsel with Dolce and Panepino, and I really have a heart after the children that are often unnoticed and uncelebrated.
And you had your own experiences with running into the law as a child, and that actually made you want to go forward and to become an attorney someday. Tell us a little bit about that.
That's correct. Well, you know, as a youth growing up in Chicago, I got into trouble every now and then. I had issues at home growing up. And my parents were, you know, I had great parents, both sets of them, my step-parents as well. But, you know, they worked a lot. And, you know, when you have a lot of free time and a lot of freedom, children will find their ways to, they'll find a way to get into trouble. And I was one of those kids. And so, you know, in my experiences, I saw what could happen when kids come into contact with the law. Many times people aren't misunderstood, and you know we get into trouble. And when I was younger, it was during the time when the crack epidemic hit Chicago, and so I saw a lot of my friends having access to weapons, having access to money, and I saw what happened within their households. And there were a lot of different things that happened, and people really didn't understand because it was a new phenomenon. And so I kind of saw where people's lives took a turn for the worse because they were lured into lifestyles that they really weren't ready for. Many people sort of destroyed their lives before they even knew what it meant to live life and have a productive life. And
now, as an attorney, you represent some youth here in our area.
Yes, yes. I've met brilliant youth in the streets of Buffalo and in the suburbs as well. And I've tried to help them through some of the difficulties that they've encountered as they were growing up. We have many kids that are acting as heads of households. They witness lots of abuse. With the rate of recidivism, many kids are being exposed to their sexuality much earlier than they should be, and they're acting out in many instances. And I'm talking about the kids that are falling behind. Many of them are going through a lot, and they don't come in the front door of the school with badges to say, I've been abused. And so we have to, one of the things that I try to do is try to help them to express themselves in positive ways as opposed to acting out, and try to protect them from their own actions, saving them from themselves, in short.
And what kind of goals, how do you see the system changing if you become elected to the Buffalo Public School Board?
Well, one of the things I want to do is highlight the disconnect within the classroom. If we look at the schools that are falling behind, many of them have a lot of students who are eligible to receive free lunches. And what that says to me is that there's some sort of financial issue within the home. And when you have issues in the home dealing with finances, and there are stressors that come with that. And so what I want to do is highlight the social emotional needs of kids so that we can address that in the classroom. And I think that's the way to bridge this disconnect. And also I want to make sure that teachers have all the resources that they need across the board, not just in those schools where we have our celebrated children, but those who actually need more help. These are kids who need additional help, and teachers need to be able to capture their imagination. These kids have access to media, unprecedented access to media, so their attention span is a little different. They're highly perceptive, but they have to be challenged at every turn in order to manage the classroom. We can't use discipline for classroom management anymore because it's not going to work. As a matter of fact, discipline and going to jail for some kids is a rite of passage. So we have to kind of reverse that culture and show them a different way. And I want to be able to bring that conversation to the board table.
All right, special point of view for sure from Sam Davis. Good luck with you in your bid in this election.